There is a lot of buzz going around regarding Cedar Point's new for 2024 roller coaster, Top Thrill 2, as it has now been closed temporarily only a week into operations due to some maintenance issues with the ride, but more specifically with its trains. I can only imagine the grief both Cedar Point and the ride's manufacturer Zamperla are experiencing during this time. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing what exactly has been going on with Top Thrill 2 at Cedar Point and potentially when we could see this massive coaster reopening. Spoiler alert, it may be much sooner than we've all been thinking. I am Katie and welcome to Katie's Coasters. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here, and now buckle up and let's dive right into this. Top Thrill 2 officially opened this season at Cedar Point as of course the new reimagined version of the past Top Thrill dragster. Opening with the park on May 4th, 2024, Top Thrill 2 seemed to be a fan favorite loved by all and surprisingly seemed to be operating abnormally great for a brand new attraction. Until it wasn't. That being said, only 1 week into Top Thrill 2 operations, Cedar Point came out on social media and left us with this post stating that Top Thrill 2 will not be in operation on Saturday, May 11th. So at this point, I was like, okay, I get it. They probably have some little maintenance issues that they want to fix and work out before reopening on the next day being Sunday. Needless to say, that Sunday, May 12th, 2024, Cedar Point shared a press release on their social media stating that Top Thrill 2 is experiencing an extended temporary closure as the ride's manufacturer Zamperla completes mechanical modifications to the ride's trains. So let's rewind just a bit. When Cedar Point a few years back was deciding which manufacturer to choose to have come in and take on this massive reimagining project, they had a few well-known coaster manufacturers as options, but with anything, there is always a difference in price depending on which option you choose. That being said, Zamperla, from what I've heard, was the cheapest option. Now, I don't want to any bit hate on Zamperla as they're a great up-and-coming manufacturer, but just to put this into perspective, Zamperla has never taken on a project anywhere this massive before. Needless to say, Cedar Point was willing to take this gamble. For both the future of Zamperla and Cedar Fair, they needed this project to be a success, and I'm not saying it's not, but this temporary closure that Top Thrill 2 is currently experiencing is not any bit good at all for Cedar Point and or Zamperla. I hate to be any bit negative, but remember, Top Thrill Dragster closed back before in 2021 due to an accident that happened caused by what I personally believe to be a maintenance defect, and now Top Thrill 2 is already closed in the first week of being open to the public. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Top Thrill 2 would close just for a day or two due to high winds, trying to get the new kinks adjusted and figured out with the LSMs, etc. But this closure it's experiencing currently seems to be much more major than I think any of us were expecting. And from what I heard, it appears that the trains for Top Thrill 2 have been experiencing lots of cracking in the wheels, which is very disheartening though for Zamperla, as they highly advertised these brand new prototype lightning trains to be the best on the market with low maintenance that would also be able to reach speeds of up to 120 miles per hour. Though, to be honest, it has always concerned me seeing how these trains would run at high speeds due to the fact is, like I've said before, these are prototype trains, and before this, Zamperla's fastest coaster trains have only reached top speeds of 55 miles per hour. Basically, if you do the math, 120 miles per hour is literally over double the speed as their fastest coaster before. So they really came into this project not physically knowing the speeds these trains could withhold and being ran at their limits constantly. Just to think, with Top Thrill 2 being open, these trains were being ran constantly at their max speed non-stop from park open to park close, which could possibly lead to how some of these huge Zamperla lightning train wheels could be experiencing some cracking, especially if they weren't prepared for the added intensity and G-forces. Not to mention, I heard this wheel cracking was the case for all 3 of the Top Thrill 2 trains. So yikes, that is not good at all. Though I do want to state that I am very thankful to see Cedar Point and Zamperla both taking this time to completely re-engineer these trains and, most importantly, fix all of the issues so that we can, as soon as possible, safely enjoy riding Top Thrill 2 for many years to come. Now, with that, when could we possibly see Top Thrill 2 reopen back up up at Cedar Point, as I know many of us, including myself, are very eager to ride this brand new record-breaking attraction. Well, obviously we don't have any definite reopening date quite yet from Cedar Point, but I can imagine that they will most likely definitely want to have this ride open as soon as possible for the busy upcoming summer season, if not in time for Memorial Day weekend, when of course daily operations will begin. Obviously it is all rumor right now, but I've heard many sources predict that Top Thrill 2 could reopen as early as the beginning of June or as late as July into August, and potentially not even opening at all during the season and would open in 2025. But that option I highly doubt, as I know Cedar Point and Zamperla both want to have Top Thrill 2 open and back on track this season for riders to enjoy. No pun intended. But as for when I personally predict we could see Top Thrill 2 back in operation, I'm really believing it rather to be earlier than later. Like I said, I could very well see this ride reopen for Memorial Day weekend. Think that's a little too soon? Well, I got some news to share with you. There has been footage released on May 15th of the silver Top Thrill 2 train testing. Top Thrill 2 is back at testing. I personally believe Cedar Point is very eager to get this ride reopened for daily operations, as they know that now is the best time to work all the kinks out. And I'm really hoping that is the case. Once Zamperla properly gets the trains fixed, they will run a certain amount of test runs for Top Thrill 2 before then getting inspected by a third party, and of course many other inspectors like the state, the park, etc. So as of now, we will just simply have to play the waiting game until Cedar Point shares more. But I believe, like I said, it will be much sooner than anyone is anticipating. I know Cedar Point and Zamperla are both working non-stop on the clock to get their biggest attraction yet reopen. All eyes are on Zamperla to see if they really can pull this project through to be a success. And I am hoping with everything that they can. No pressure at all, Zamperla. I know this temporary Top Thrill 2 closure is definitely very unfortunate and not fun for anyone, but until it reopens, Cedar Point still has 17 other world-class coasters to enjoy. So I'd love to know below in the comments what's your thoughts on this whole Top Thrill 2 situation, and when do you think this ride will reopen? I would love to know. I do know one thing though, is that I am very eager and excited to get out to Cedar Point to ride Top Thrill 2 as soon as possible once it reopens, and I just hope all things can work out so that this ride will be operating smoothly at Cedar Point for many decades to come. With that being said, thank you so very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out, everybody.